Welcome to the arithmetic zone, and for our first math lesson, we're going to factor trinomials where a is not equal to 1 in a quadratic equation. So for our first example, we're going to do it the Earmuffs method, which is how most people learn it in school today. So what they would do is they would take the a term and multiply it with a constant. So in this case, this would be negative 60x squared. And then they would see the two numbers that would multiply to negative 60x squared and add to the b term. So for this would be positive 6x and negative 10x. So what do you do with these two numbers? You take the b term and split it up into what you found. So to show that, that'll be 4x squared plus 6x minus 10x minus 15. So from here, you want to factor by grouping. So essentially, factor these two parts of the equation as if they were separate binomials. So the result of that would be 2x times 2x plus 3 minus 5 times 2x plus 3 equal to 0. If you get the same binomial in the two parentheses, that's how you know you did it correctly. So what you would do is that the shared binomial in the parentheses, 2x plus 3, that's one term, while whatever's outside of the parentheses, so 2x and then minus 5, that's another set of parentheses. So the result of that would be 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 5 equal to 0. And because this thing is equal to 0, if we want to find the roots, we would just set each term equal to 0, and the result of that would be x equal to 5/2 and x equal negative 3/2. Now we're going to try this same example again, but this time we're going to use a different method to factor, and that method is called case 2 factoring. For the first step of this method is pretty similar to the Earmuffs method, where you would take this coefficient and multiply it to the constant. The difference, though, is that you would set it up in a way that makes it so that you would use the AM method instead. So this 4 is temporarily lost, and then you would multiply the 4 to the negative 15 to get x squared minus 4x minus 60. Now obviously these two expressions, they are not equal to each other, but don't forget about the 4 because it will come back. So from here on out, you want to just factor this as if it was a regular trinomial where a is equal to 0, which is much easier. So that would just be x minus 10 times x plus 6 equal to 0. Now this is where the 4 comes back. We want to take the 4 and multiply it to both terms, but you only multiply it to the x. You don't multiply it to the constants. So what you would get is 4x minus 10 times 4x plus 6. Notice the 10 did not turn into negative 40. The 6 didn't turn into 24. It's still negative 10 and it's still positive 6. So from here, you want to divide by the GCF for both terms. And that would just be 2. So what you would get is 2x minus 5 times 2x plus 3 equal to 0. And this is the same result that we got when we used the Earmuffs method. So we'd get the same roots of 5/2 and negative 3/2. Now let's try a different example. We're going to use case 2 factoring again. And when you see a trinomial like this, your first instinct might just be to use quadratic formula, which if you have a calculator, it is very convenient, but if you don't, then it's not really the best way. So we're going to, again, take this 6 and multiply to the negative 20. So what we'd get from that is x squared minus 14x minus 120. So from here, you would use the AM method. So what adds to negative 14x but multiplies to negative 120? Well, that would be x minus 20 times x plus 6. But remember, we took a 6 out and we got to put it back. So that would be 6x minus 20 times 6x plus 6. Remember, the 20 and the 6, the constants, do not get multiplied by the 6. So from here, you would take out the GCF. In this term, that would only be 2. That's as far as we can go. But from here, this one's really nice. We can just take out that 6 and get x plus 1. So that would be 3x minus 10 times x plus 1 equal to 0. And because it's equal to 0, we can find the roots. And x would be positive 10 over 3, and x equals negative 1. The beauty about this system compared to the Earmuffs method is that you don't have to use factor by grouping, which can take a while and take a lot of space to do. Now, if you're very efficient with the Earmuffs method, then you don't really need to learn this case 2 factoring method. It's just, in my opinion, a quicker and easier to approach way of solving these trinomials where a is not equal to 1. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.